Well, hello everybody. This is Ranger Rob, and welcome to the Ranger Rob Country Living Podcast. And yes, we have an exciting crew here because it's been a sparkling day here in Central Oregon. So we got J&D
Literally.
Homestead and John Pearson with us today. John's from Eugene, so I gotta ask: have you guys been getting a lot of ice and stuff over there?
No, it was crazy. We didn't get a whole lot of snow. I mean, it looked like snow. If you looked out there, you'd go, "Oh, you guys got an inch of snow." But what we really got is an inch of solid ice. Actually, more than that. It was probably more like an inch and a half, maybe even a little more. But it was solid ice.
Wow.
How your pigs doing through it?
I had to throw down a little bit of hay because they couldn't stand. They couldn't stand it. Their legs were like, coming out sideways and everything to try to feed and everything. So I threw down a big round circle of hay and put the bowls in front of it. And so they were able to get to that. So, but they're doing good outside of that. They're doing real well.
Wow.
I don't think ours have come out of the barn.
Yeah, all my pigs have been very hesitant about coming out of the shelters.
My chickens, they don't come out either. And when they do, they fly from the coop to the end of the run and then fly back.
What are you doing? I always told everybody that we live in a vortex.
Holy smokes.
Wow.
Now watch that big cloud.
Oh my God.
Right over John's house.
Yep, goes right around us.
Every time.
Before we get going here, I need to remind everybody this is also a audio podcast. So if you do listen to podcasts on your cell phone and just do a little search, put in Ranger Rob Country Living Podcast. Make sure you put the word podcast after it. And it should show up in your search and put us in your favorites and listen to any of our chapters now. We got 97 shows now. So I was like, wow. That's a lot. So anyway, and before I get going, do you guys have any shout outs?
Shout out to the weatherman.
He sucks.
Well, he sucks, but he was right this time for once.
Yeah, he was right.
So for those of you who may not be suffering from the snow and the ice and stuff, I did put my cam up for a little bit so you can kind of see what the back of our property looks like. And of course it seized up. There it goes. But I thought it was done snowing, but apparently it isn't.
No, that's ice.
Yeah. So anyway, it's ugly. It's hard. And of course, I can't find the right button to shut it off. There it goes. Anyway, so I thought it would be just checking in on that and let everybody know what we're facing out here, because that's what the show's all about, is basically our fails and our repairs and our fixes, because as each day goes on, I keep finding something that's either broke, frozen, needs fixed, or repaired. So I thought I got a feeling you probably all have a little bit of stories for of going, crap. I think it's like my stuff was like, I know some of them are kind of severe, but we can wait till the weather gets better to fix them. Like I have a cracked faucet in the front, and so that means I can't put water into our pond. But it doesn't really kill us, but it's not leaking as far as broken farther back where the pipe could be in the wall. So we didn't have that problem. So I am grateful for that. But some of the things that have been going on here is water is a nightmare. We can't get water out to the pigs. I can't get them even temporary out to the pigs. And I may have to shut my door here, but anyway, and then my reservoirs that hold water, so I can just scoop some water and give them to pigs. I found out none of my heaters, they're older little heaters that I keep in them, neither one are working, so the water's frozen in all of them. So now I have 55 gallons of solid ice frozen in each one. So that's useless. So the only way we can get water out to our piggies is filling up 5-gallon buckets up front by the well, and hold them out, tote them out on the tractor, and then take them to the pigs. So luckily, pigs are known for eating snow, so I do know they're getting liquid. Probably, some are probably better at it than others, and so yeah, that's been our major problem over here. And then Debbie, you're telling us you're having some of the same troubles I am. Is like the chicken coops, the doors, usually they push inward and stuff, and with snow dropping and ice dropping, and then the chickens moving their the ground around and stuff, I can't get my chicken doors open all the way.
I can't either. My doors actually open out.
Wow.
And yeah, I shoveled it out, and it's just ice underneath.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's gonna be a fix. It's gonna be a fix.
I got to trim up the barn door because it's a fight just to get it open every day.
In fact, I broke the snow shovel just trying to get it so I can get in there. The first couple days when it got really high, I just threw the feet inside their door that they come out in. It's like, here you go. Put the water bowl right by the door, and it just froze. So it's like, yeah, it's going to be a fix.
Yeah.
It's like
it's on the chicken.
Like the bowls we have for the pigs. When I give them the feed, I try to put it in the bowls because it's getting either too much snow or there's mud, and I want to make it easy for them to get their feed. And so the problem is I'm dressed. I have so much clothes on, I can't get my legs over the top of the fences. So I'm getting to a point now. I'm just
bend over. I know.
So I'm just step on the fence, and luckily the Premier fencing, I can knock them down, and I don't have to worry about pigs escaping because they don't want to get out of the shelters in the first place. But everything is just so hard, and
yeah,
not just a little bit. It's really difficult.
Workout just going out to the pens.
I know. I'm going. I'm pretty sure I'm.
Yeah. And it feels like 10 miles.
Yeah, I'm going. I'm definitely feeling my age with the cold weather. And I don't know about you guys, but when it's 0 or more, I don't know what it is. That just drains me when I go out there. It seems it's hard to breathe, and
yeah,
and tend to cover your face, so you feel like you're getting too much and not getting enough oxygen.
Yeah, we went and bought those masks that they use when they go steal everything out of the stores. I told John he couldn't wear it to town because they think they're going to be robbed. But yeah, we went and got those because you come back and your chest just hurts because it's so cold.
That and this, just to walk out to the pigs, all of this.
It's ice.
Yeah.
Just ice cubes everywhere. It's like, are you kidding me?
That's ridiculous. So what's happening in Eugene? I mean, I hear a little bit, but
well, like I said, we didn't get any beautiful snowflakes. That's for sure. It came down. It actually, if you're out walking in it when it first started coming down, it literally hurt. And if you didn't have a hat on or something like that, I mean, it literally hurt. It felt almost like getting hit with some sandblast blowback or something like that. Because it was coming down, and once it hit the ground, all of my windows, my vehicle windows, everything looked like you know how they have the ripply glass windows that they put in like bathrooms and stuff, so the opaque type thing.
Yeah.
Every window in the house, every windshield, everything had has a 1/4 inch or up to a 1/2 inch of just ice.
Yeah, so our side windows were like that.
Yeah, and I've been in a lot of snow to where, I mean, there's snow, and yeah, it's tough to open the doors and all that stuff. But when your vehicle looks like a glazed donut, it's hard to open those doors. And it's like, well, we better go thaw out the vehicle. It's like, I gotta chip away to get the door open. So I don't even know if I have, any paint damage or little dents or whatever, but that I got a screwdriver that, the only thing I've done with it is try to pry open doors. So
Yeah, I went out to the tiny house and the doors froze shut on it.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. And then you go to, you just, it's like, hey, I've got a 4-wheel drive. I'm gonna go into town. It's not a big deal. And I mean, man, I tell you what, I was like a ballerina, spinning. I literally twice, did a complete 360, and all I was really trying to do was just hit a little bit of brake and turn to the left, and it was like, woo, okay, let's do this again. Thank God there's nobody on the road or anything like that. But no,
Oh wow,
it's nuts. It's nuts.
Yeah, that the 0 degrees thing on the face. Oh my gosh. And I was letting my beard grow quite a bit. I was out quite a bit. I was pretty scruffy. And I was doing that on purpose because this cold, 0 degrees in the mornings and stuff is painful when you're not used to it.
It don't matter how many layers of clothes, it goes right through them.
yes.
Yeah.
I was layered, and oh my God, time I got done with the chickens, I couldn't feel my hands at all.
We got down to about, I think our lowest was about 14, and it's painful, but you're right. I mean, when it gets down to 0 and below that, it's like a different world.
Yeah, and the wind out here, oh my God.
Our highest one was -17.
I think
Holy smokes.
Yeah. I had 2 pairs of gloves on, and before I even got done with the first 2 coops, I couldn't hardly move my fingers.
Yeah. Yep. A lot of things that I put on my to-do list for next year, because
Same here. I've got coops to fix, doors to fix. I gotta dig out the coops a little bit so it doesn't build up so much in there. So if it happens again,
and it can. I mean, we still got some time.
Yeah. February and March.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was telling her, is like Sherry and I both. I deal with the gate in the back, but she was going to work this morning, and we have a chain. We had to disconnect our automatic when it comes every year about this time when it gets cold like this, our automatic electric fence just stops working. And if there's snow in the way and stuff, that makes it even worse. So we just take it off and do everything manual now. But the chain that we use around the fence, the little clip that you use on there, it froze in place. And Sherry had it happen to Sherry when she was out front, and it happened to me in the back. I'm just back there going, this is stupid. I can't even open up the little clip.
Mine's like that too.
And then that's when I discovered, just like you, that the chain was also kind of frozen to what it was laying on. It's like, this is so stupid.
Yeah,
I'm going, why did I move from Phoenix?
Yeah, we opened up the front gate and left it open. It's a good thing. With 18 inches, we wouldn't been able to come or go.
Yeah, well, Sherry, when we were discovering that the fence was, the gate was not acting right and not closing right and stuff, we were having the puppy and the golden and the other older golden would go out to the road and kind of, we live on a dirt road, so it's not a severe road and stuff, but they're not real trained yet to realize don't go past the gate. And so that scares us a lot. So we got to check that gate a lot. But now we're doing manually, so we don't have to worry about it. But of course, it's a pain in the neck when it's 5 degrees up in the morning trying to go to work and hit that 5-degree weather. Pretty nice. Yeah.
Well,
So
we're pretty safe. We're pretty safe with Ark, and he stays in the barn because we've been shutting ours all the time in case he gets out again. Can you imagine chasing that 450-pound hog down the road?
Well, at least you stay warm. Yeah, that's miserable.
How did you guys do as far as power outages and that kind of stuff?
Nothing.
Haven't had no glitches yet, but then the ice is something else. So you never know.
Yeah, the company that I work with, Builders Electric, we do a almost almost all of the work for the city of Cottage Grove as far as things that they need done and all that kind of stuff. And Cottage Grove is a ghost town. They lost everything. There isn't a single house in that entire town, and it's a pretty good sized little town. No restaurants, no supermarkets. The supermarkets are working on generators. This, City Hall is on a generator. I went into City Hall today to work on trying to come up with some ideas to create help them create a shelter and that kind of stuff in some of their buildings that they have with some of the generators that they have. And I mean, the city of Cottage Grove is a super caring and giving community, but you walk into City Hall, they had a generator for the full facility, and the halls and the courthouse and everything in that building were full of people who, need to try to warm themselves. I mean, it devastated the city of Cottage Grove. It's sad. And Crestwell is bad as well. Eugene had 2 days ago, Eugene had 27,000 meters that were not serviced. And that's, there's usually more than one person per meter kind of thing. It's a lot of people. It was,
wow.
That ice gets on those lines and the ice gets on the trees and it just weights that stuff down. It's not, snow does the same thing, but it's, kind of
heavy
and eventually weighs everything down. You can go out to a tree sometimes and shake it and a lot of the snow will fluff off. But when it gets that ice on there and it's stuck on, there ain't nothing you can do about it. And there's just trees. And it's funny, the Public Works Department of the city of Cottage Grove, they have a big yard and gravel pits and equipment and all that kind of stuff. But their main power to feed the entire facility power pole broke off in the middle of the yard with all the weight on it. The whole pole came down and took out 2 vehicles and literally crushed them to the ground. It's just insane what's going on. You go to you drive by the parks, and now the roads are all clear. Everything's good here in this area, but you go by the parks and the trees are just, these old growth trees are just all laying on the ground. It's just crazy what Mother Nature can do. Insane.
Yeah, Portland and Beaverton area. Look at all those trees. And those were some big ass trees.
Yeah.
And my son in Sandy, he was out for almost a half a day, 9 hours.
Wow.
Out of power, yeah.
City of Cottage Grove, there are residents down there that and Pleasant Hill, which is a little community here as well. They've been notified. Make arrangements. You will be out for 2 weeks.
Oh gosh.
2 weeks. We're not that way. We lost our power for a long enough for me to learn a few lessons and make sure that next time it doesn't go the same. We lost for probably 8 hours total in a couple of different ways. But no, that's these poles come down and the whole infrastructure is just laying on the ground. It's just absolutely insane.
Wow. I can't say we've been really having that kind of excitement around here. Thank goodness.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, watch all the power go out tonight.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
So this is the front of our property, so you guys can kind of see.
Yeah.
Sherry was gone half the day, so she got back mid-afternoon, and she's already got snow on her car, which is the one in the middle. And but I don't dare move my cars because the truck is one giant sled, and a RAV4 may be all-wheel drive, but it doesn't have studded tires on it. So I just stay home. I just figure if I gotta go to town, I'm gonna call John. We can ruin his truck.
Actually, my truck does pretty good.
In the snow, ice you have no control.
Yeah, ice is really tough. I have a old red S10 2000, it's just my farm truck, but it's 4-wheel drive and it's a manual shift and it was cheap and I love it. But man, I tell you what, that thing on ice, It is literally a ballerina. It's crazy.
Yep.
Over to the top, right?
So how's your apple trees handling all this ice?
You know what? We did really, really well. A few of the Doug firs on the property, lost some branches, but in looking at it, you can't really tell. Most of the trees did okay. It hit real hard. I'll tell you what, though. I have a laurelwood tree right outside. And Rob, you've seen it. You may not remember it, but it's a very large tree right outside our house. And it kind of, it's Mindy wants me to get it cut back a little bit, which I do now need to do. But it gives us a lot of shade in the summertime. And we really like it. But it was so iced up that once the ice started giving way, we're blessed enough to have my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law are staying here because we did lose power and there was a lot of snow and I was worried about temperatures and all that kind of stuff. But once that ice started giving way on that laurelwood tree and coming down and smacking on the roof of the house, it sounded like we were in a war zone. It was like bam, 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 bam. It was just.
Isn't that the tree that you were hiding the shotgun behind when I showed up in the car? Like, who the hell are you?
There's no doubt about that. I was sitting right. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a big chunks coming off of the solar panels today.
Oh, I'll bet.
Sound like the roof was coming out.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God. I'm sitting here like at what? 2 a.m. and I hear that. I'm going, what the hell?
Yeah. Yeah. My mother-in-law who's been staying with us for a few days, I feel bad because I didn't see the text messages that she had sent trying to kind of wake me up a little bit in the night saying, I hear all these noises and it's scary. Is everything okay? But man, it was, I went outside here when this was all going on. We actually had our first power outage once the ice started melting. Once the ice started melting, the trees started giving way, the power lines started going down in the infrastructure and all that kind of stuff. And I was going out, hitting the generator and disconnecting the generator when the power would come back on and going back out when it went off again. But when that stuff was coming down, I had to put on multiple hats and beanies because I literally felt like I was getting pelted with rocks as it would come down just out of the stupid tree. I still haven't checked to see if my poor wife's car doesn't have any dents in it. It was pretty goofy.
Yeah.
So have you been going to work regularly, or are you kind of shortening your days?
Yesterday was the first day back to work. Wednesday was the first day back. I mean, literally the roads were undrivable.
Wow.
And we have at Builders, most of the guys take home work vans, and the thought of having these, and they don't put chains on them. We don't do chains. If we have to, we don't do heroics. And so it was like the roads were too treacherous for people to come in. And yesterday I came in, and 3 or 4 guys, I texted them, hey, if you can come in safely, and I mean safely, come in and we'll see if we can, get you out. But yesterday was the first day I went in since, Friday. And then of course today, and we're real busy. We've a lot of services down, risers down, and yeah, it's kind of goofy.
So all I can do on the calendar and just try like, when do you think this is going to end? This is every day. It's like, make it stop.
Yeah.
So.
We're not too bad as far as up and coming, but that's just us.
I think we're looking pretty good next week.
Yeah, next week
I have
56 degrees next Friday is our high, but the lowest that we have next week is 33. That's nothing.
Yeah, that's like a heat wave.
That's our highs.
Yeah, shorts. That's right at the borderline of, do you wear shorts or do you wear
your flip flop? Get them ready.
Yeah.
Saturday all the way through next week. We'll be in the 40s. Then 50s on next Friday, not this one.
Right.
We were 56 next Friday. That's pretty damn good.
I'm ready.
Heck
Not
yeah.
that I can go out or anything.
I'm ready though.
Did this go around, or this quick onset, because that came on pretty fast, get you guys thinking about what kind of caught you off guard?
We knew it was coming. We've been watching it.
Yeah, we went to the store the day right before everything hit. So we got all our supplies and everything. And
Well, that's good.
The only thing that got me is I didn't think we were getting that much.
Yeah. Usually it seems like down, at least here for me, when the Weather Channel and the news hypes it up and hypes it up and hypes it up, it usually, is
It's nothing.
nothing. They were right this time. It literally was a pretty good deal. And so when they were hyping it up so much, I didn't take a whole lot of that for granted. I took a lot of it for granted, I should say. So,
Yeah, I didn't think we were going to get 18 inches.
That's a lot, man. That's a lot.
yeah, it was. Now we got about 6 inches of frozen on the ground.
Elijah is in here. See, they're supposed to be getting some more nasty weather over there.
Yep. 4 a.m, they're getting more snow. Weren't we
Yeah, so
we got ice going on.
And he's got lots of critters, so he's probably going through the same stuff we are.
Oh yeah, all those beautiful birds he has. Oh my goodness.
We're about to the end of it. There's nothing else out here.
This might be the last jaunt for a minute.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah, definitely. These give me a chance to put, because one of my fixes, first thing before the next storm comes, if I can get it done before next Wednesday, is putting, because on the runs where the coop and the end of the run, I have stuff going over the coop, but where the door is, it's open.
Oh,
because in the summertime, that's where the sun is on the far end. So we have some metal. We're going to put a permanent roof over there. Hopefully, keep some of it from the door, so I can at least get in there and get them.
Well, that's a good idea. Maybe it might keep you'll still get the snow accumulation outside of that, but maybe you'd be able to open the door, right?
Yeah, right. That's what I'm hoping. So that's one of the first fixes that's going to happen. Yep. Every one of my pins are like that. I put the cover where the sun is, so they had shade in the summer, not even thinking about the snow covering the door.
Yeah.
Of course, not only can we not get in our coop, we got the mean-ass rooster in there.
Rob, I told you should have brought that little SOB over.
I don't know why this kind of
mean. He is just mean.
He's really mean.
That'd make a good chicken stew.
Yeah, I don't even think he'll make that. He's about a 2-year-old. He's a big bird, but he's probably a little chewy. His birds are eating snow.
Thanks.
It's snow.
Nope.
Yeah.
And the piggies, that's I'm gonna take the tractor out and give them water again tomorrow, but super hard to get 20 gallons of water back there manually
without splashing it.
Yeah.
Well, it was a blessing we did the water lines this last summer. They have not froze up once.
That's fantastic. Wow. Yep. That's great.
But my poor chickens had to reach out and eat the snow because I couldn't get into it to give them water.
Yep.
Yeah, we ended up our chickens, they have the big, 4 or 5 gallon water for water deals, and they froze up solid. So
Oh yeah.
I have a whole bunch of the little rubber bowls. We ended up having to put out rubber bowl, and everybody was getting water in the morning and water in the evening. But yeah, it was.
Yeah, I have electric bowls for the chickens, but I don't have power clear out to the coop. It's in the front of the run. So it never froze. They just couldn't get to it.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah.
Because there for a couple days I had to dig out the hole that they go in and out through. It was completely covered.
Oh wow.
And once I did that, they flew over the snow and flew back.
Yeah.
And a lot of them were so dumb, I had to pick them up and throw them in there because they were sitting in the snow shivering. And it's like, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that fireplace that I built out back, it's all the way up past the doors opening.
Yeah.
That's how
Well, it
deep
doesn't
it got.
it doesn't even look like we have a drain field out there. It's just snow.
Wow. Wow. Crazy.
Yeah.
So did you guys say you had 18 inches?
Yeah. I think you did too, Rob.
It's
No,
only
I-
a mile that
I
way.
figured we were like 10 or 11 inches. But
No, we were at 18.
Yeah, we were at 18. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you were too.
could have been, but I never sat still long enough to measure it. I'm going, I got to get my drawers in and get the fuck in the house.
Well, I had my snow boots on, and I know I'm not tall, but it went over my snow boots.
Rob,
this
Rob apologized.
time of year, our language goes to hell. Like, I cannot wait till this weather is over.
Yeah, it really sucks.
It is tiring. You Trump. I couldn't drive my golf carts out to the pigs out in the back. I slipped.
And you had
Poor
to walk out
thing.
there.
It was tiring.
Oh, I was going to tell you, John. You'd be happy to hear that Biden won the Iowa caucus.
Oh, shut up.
Woo!
It's like, that must have been really exciting. Sorry I missed it.
He did that all from his basement,
Oh, yeah. I just had to throw that one. I go, that's hilarious. Like,
Yeah,
who
that
cares?
was-
There's nobody running. And it's like, that's not worth even celebrating. Sorry, I thought it'd make your day. I thought maybe that'll melt your ice. Elijah, no comment. Oh,
he's on there.
Oh.
looks like I'll be nice and just keep my
Damn,
mouth shut.
just lost Elijah.
Sorry, buddy.
I did have a
Yeah,
sad.
I didn't realize it though, but I always thought we were like 2,000 feet. We're at 3,460 feet.
Are you really?
Yep.
Yeah.
30
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Wow, that is high. That's high desert.
That's why they call us high desert guys.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oops.
I did have a scary thing happen. Oh, of course, there he is. So this is Maggie, my giant pig. She's sleeping right now.
No.
It's not snow. That's inside her. Anyway, I went out there to feed her, and she was standing by the fence facing away, and there's blood spots all over the snow. I just spread out and stuff. And I'm going, what the hell? And it turns out, those of you might have seen some of the pictures of Maggie but she has like some buck teeth, 3 little teeth up front, and she's broken 2 of them. And I don't know how she's doing it. But anyway, so
rocks.
she does. I mean, with snow and stuff, there's nothing to eat. She could be chewing on the wood or something. But anyway, so she broke another tooth, and it was bleeding. So it scared the heck out of me. And then I'm going, I can't look, I can't examine it. She's a 400-pound pig. So it's not much I can do for her, but she's sleeping good. But I may have to go to add water if I can ever get water again. Add water to her food if she can't eat. I don't know. Of course, she needs to go on a diet, but that's a hell of a way to go on a diet. But she scared me today. But
It's weird.
so she's having it kind of rough. So she may actually get processed this year. I think she's just too big, and I don't think she can breed. So I think it's kind of like I think I'm gonna have to make the hard decision.
Well, the thing about that is as far as it would be just an immediate lights out for Maggie, and she would not know the difference. But you've tried a long time to try to bring her weight down and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, she's just a big pig, and but she's sleeping right now. I'm keeping an eye on her, but she's definitely been and she's still very good sized pig, so she's not losing extreme weight or anything. So I'm kind of thinking once the weather gets kind of comprehensive, I may have them come in and get her just custom processing. And
This sheep is 19 years old. Holy crap.
what's that?
Well, the comments.
Post it so I can see it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Talk about a sheep lost a tooth and it was completely blood everywhere.
Yeah, and she's 19 years old. Dang.
Wow.
I wasn't aware they lived that long.
Like my Maggie, she's only
Poor baby.
2.5.
How's the other pigs doing, Rob? Zelda and all them?
They're all doing great.
Annie,
The feeders, they're tough little guys. Desmond, the new boar, he's doing great, but I gotta get him paired up with somebody. And the three hefties, which this is one of them, Maggie here. I think I'm gonna have to start making some decisions. So they're kind of like our first pigs, and so they're kind of, we didn't care if we processed them or not. They could be more of a pet if they wanted to be, but if she's going to continue to have the health problems, plus all those big pigs are having trouble with their hoofs, and they need to be trimmed. And
did you check into that traveling guy from Eugene?
Not yet. I've been watching videos of how to get your pig drunk. Literally. I've watched a couple of them where guys are trying to get their pigs drunk, and that's quite an ordeal just to do that. So I don't know. We're gonna try. I'll probably start with Sparky, see if I can drop him with a 6-pack, and it will really help with it, and it might help with his walking and heal up maybe. But anyway, but my 3 older pigs, they're big pigs, and they're way too big for your normal IPP pigs. And my other 3 now, they're all normal size, but anyway, we got to improve our breeding program.
Out of control so fast.
I think it's just they're the 2 sisters, which are really big, from the same litter, and every pig that came out of that litter, I think, were just big pigs. And then Sparky is related to your Arkin.
Yeah.
And he is a big pig. And so
really,
but I don't think he's fat. I think he's just big.
he's not fat. He's just big.
Yeah.
Because if I hold him next to my Desmond, he'd make her him look kind of small,
like a baby. Yeah.
Yeah, but really, my first pigs and stuff, they're just too large to be decent. I mean, they make great good feeder piglets, but they're not really good pigs for making registered.
John, your son said
Christopher
hi.
says, "Hey, Dad."
He just tried calling me, and I told him, "Hey, I'm on the podcast." He goes, sorry, maybe he was just
Oh, okay, quit. We'll quit talking about you, Chris. Not the, he's the one that made the 3-2-1 ribs when I went over there.
Oh, he did. Yes, he did.
And I gotta admit, he did good, real good. I had to go buy myself a new Traeger just to keep up with Chris.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
We haven't had to do the hoofs yet on ours. But I did find a traveling, I don't know what they're called. Traveling, you remember what it's called?
Oh, what do they call that when they
It's
do
not
that?
a feral. The
Feral. There you go.
Yeah, that lives in Eugene. And I'm going to check on him and see how much they charge and have them. Because it looks, from what I've seen on some of his postings, is I think he knocks the pigs out and then does their hoofs. Thank you.
Fair.
Yeah, so I'm going to check into that this spring.
You know, I had a pig, my first go around, it was a little girl. We called her Susie Q. And she was limping. And we could never, you know, I'd feel her leg and I'd feel her ankles and everything seemed fine. I didn't know where the pain was or anything like that until I processed her. And she had an extra dew claw that had grown in and was gone into the bottom of their hoof. I saw the one dew claw and it was perfect. I'm going, well, it's not that. But when she was actually hanging upside down, I could see that she had an additional dew claw that was grown into the pad of her foot. So
well, that might be something to look at, Rob.
Yeah, as soon as I can tip my little 400-pound Sparky over.
Yeah. Liza too with his. But yeah.
Because it kind of appears that it's kind of in his shoulder, but not being able to see the bottom of his feet and stuff, kind of like nothing stands out. But if I can get him to tip over, I do think if I got him a little tipsy and stuff, a couple of rubs of the tummy, I think he'd just lay down anyway. And I could at least take a look. And if I want to trim him, I'll probably have to make sure he drinks a whole 6-pack.
So how are they telling you to do it? Just with beer?
Just beer. Yeah. And a lot of people, this one guy, he keeps trying to add it to bread. And this other farmer, he added it to the grain, to just regular grain, just like when I do fermenting for my pigs.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, just use beer.
I got a 2-second. Of course, all my stories always take more than 2 seconds. But so, Rob, you saw I have this little covered carport structure type thing. It's actually 30 by 60. I put all my shit underneath it. I've got, you know, my barbecue, the 56 Chevy, the tractor, the everything's underneath this thing. But when the snow and the ice came, all of the birds flew up underneath onto the rafters because it's open on two sides, covered on two sides, and all the birds flew up and were in the rafters. And I had a big plastic tote of pears that I was going to process. Man, I mean, back in October, that I never, and they sat there. It's like, okay, now they're rotten. Eventually I'll take them to the back of the property. I'll dump them in the compost pile. I never did. You could see the juice was coming out of the things. The pears were all rotten. Everything was fermenting. And, but when everything froze here this last weekend, everything froze, the birds and everything was covered in ice and snow or white. They all went into the structure and they were looking for anything to eat. I put the cat food out for the cats and immediately it was gone. Anyway, they tasted one of these pears and they ended up eating the entire bin of pears. And when I came out, and I'm watching, I'm looking at the birds from my porch and I'm seeing them actually in the bin of pears. And when I walked out there, it startled them all. One of them one of them was drunk and flew right into the wall, and that was it. It was funny because they actually were eating fermented pears and were getting.
Got drunk.
So,
We got. That's funny you mentioned that because we have about 100 robins in the front and about 100 in the back, and they eat these juniper tree berries, and they fall out of the tree because they get drunk. But right now they're migrating and they're everywhere. You'd think you were in that movie, The Birds.
Yeah.
They're just everywhere.
And
but that's
loud.
funny you brought that up.
No, Abby has found 3 birds in the last 2 days in the yard.
I know.
We got birds everywhere.
I got a scare yesterday morning. I walked out in front of the truck. All I see is these feathers. They're not long feathers, so I knew it wasn't my birds. But when I first seen it, I'm going, "Oh shit, something got in there." But yeah, it was one of the robins.
Yeah, it's really bad. I know it's our pond that we get 50 to 75 birds on that pond in the morning. Not so much right now because everything's kind of froze over, so all the water's kind of covered up. The water's still running, but you can't see it. So, but the birds, man, they just go nuts over that stuff. Of course, it's all surrounded by juniper trees. So, got stone birds over here.
Yeah. But that bin of mine was, and it's one of those kind of like restaurant plastic totes, so they load dishes in and that kind of shit. But it was full of pears, and then it was, you could still see the tops of the pears, but it was mostly all liquid. And I'll tell you right, it sat for, like I said, since October. It was one of my things. Mindy kept saying, "You gotta dump that. You gotta dump that. You gotta dump that." Man, it is gone. So all of the liquid that turned to froze, they ate that as well.
Wow.
So,
that's probably a good time to take.
Like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this might be a good time to get that out of there because everything's frozen.
Pigs would have liked it too.
Oh man, yeah. No, for sure. But no, I can tell you right now, though, just in the fact that I make cider all the time, I know what it takes to ferment. I know that it wouldn't have been consumable it wouldn't have been good for a human or anything like that. But it was well fermented. That one bird, when I went out there, I startled him, and that son of a bitch went and flew right into the wall. Some Mac.
That's kind of the problem we have with this house. We have so much glass in the living room area and around. We're constantly getting smacked by birds. And one of these days, one of those birds is going to break one of those windows. I just know it because they really hit it hard. And it's all year, totally year round. So, but yeah, lots of birds right now, especially in the last 2 or 3 days. It's been really bad. So, don't know exactly what's causing it. So,
well, all of the places where they normally go and dig and poke for food and all that is gone. So they're kind of panicking. I had a few last, stragglers on apples on one of my trees, and once they found them, I've got videos of it. They're just going to town on the last of the apples up on the trees and that kind of stuff. So
I just send them over to John and Debbie's.
Yeah.
Debbie will take
care, Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they just shit all over our stuff.
It'll be Pig Farm, Homestead, and Bird Aviary.
That's right. Yeah, they've wiped out the pond with the ice on it and all that stuff. It's literally not white snow and ice on it. It's all brown because of the birds.
I'll tell you what, I was thinking about some of the things that that next year I'm not going to be caught off guard. One of them is I'm going to start my generators every month.
What I do.
It was like I'm out there in the freezing weather trying to start my generators going, this is way too late to start my generators and keep them going. And I'd only ran them a few times like I should, but they really need to be ran all the time.
They say, I think once a month you should start it.
That's what I'm saying. Even the The ones that are the auto generators, for the most part, you can program in an exercise cycle that they'll start and run automatically. But the manual ones, like my generators, they're all, roll around portable generators. Those can be started and ran, once a month minimum. I with the ice and everything that we came across, they have those things that you can slip over your shoes, the little cleat type things that you can.
Yeah.
I'm getting me some. I need those. I can't get around with this ice that we had. Holy smokes, I was slipping all over the place. And I'm not a guy that throws on chains for the most part. It's like, I always figure, I don't need chains. But they came out with some chains, and I don't know when they came out with them, but I just saw them. But, most rims on tires have little holes that you can kind of see through, and they're just small little sections of chain that you can set around the tire, and they've got a ratchet.
I have 2 sets.
Yeah, we have those.
See, I just saw those this year. It's like,
yeah, you just clip them on and
didn't they come out
around.
last year?
Yeah,
I think they just came out last year.
And you look and online, you can get like a set of a couple of sets for of 3 little sections. You don't have to go all the way around the tire. You just have to have them every maybe 2 or 3, 4 maybe per tire.
Yeah.
And some of them are pretty inexpensive online, and I am never going to get caught without those again. I'm not going to be a ballerina in the middle of the road again. I'm not going to do it.
You loved it.
It was fun because I knew nobody around me.
Brought you back to your teenage years.
Yeah, the problem is that I had some places that I needed to go. I talked to my son had lost some part of his water system because he didn't have it insulated proper, and it blew up, and I was going to bring him some parts out. But after I told my wife that I did a spin out in the main road out there, and she said, "You're not bringing Chris's parts. We'll figure something else out." So I'm just not going to do it anymore. It's fun, but it's not ideal.
Not worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I was younger, I was like, I couldn't wait to get my 4-wheel drive truck out in the snow and go up in the mountains and all that kind of stuff. It's like, now I just like, I'm not moving.
Yep.
So yeah, I gonna have plenty of repairs when the weather gets a little better. And just a second here.
Delete.
Yeah. Okay, that's a long one. Got a comment in there. It was kind of long, so oh well. But anyway, any other kind of weird things have you discovered during this last couple of week, within the week probably, with all this weird weather that caused you to go, I gotta get that fixed, or I gotta change this, or this is broken, or that's broken? Mine has been and water, but I thought I had a plan, but it's hard to test whether your water heaters are working until it actually gets cold enough to see if they're keeping the water warm enough not to freeze. But I learned the hard way when I went to go get some water out of there. I'm going, I can't get the bucket in here. So I don't know. It's been frustrating.
I found out that the barn is actually good enough to keep the pigs over the winter. They don't like to really go out because we left the gate open for the little ones to go out to the other pen. Now they'd rather stay in the barn with mom, and so lesson learned on that. Just have them all huddled in the barn.
Yeah. And you put that heat? Do you put that heater out there, or is there just enough?
No, actually, they keep it warm in there.
You know what? I'll bet if you got hay or straw or whatever out there, and it's just no snow or water, that they're probably
it's not wet.
Well, we have this also for their doors.
Yeah. Oh,
this is the plastic stuff. You can order it online.
You know the plastic doors they have, like you go to Costco and you go into the produce and the meat. And
Yeah.
that plastic they have hanging
Right.
down, that's what we have for the doors.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah,
So-
it keeps it warm inside. The wind doesn't come in on them.
No, that's great. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I'm gonna put some of that up on the chicken stores too. I think I have up 2
Yeah.
with it, and it works out really well.
I know my chickens, I haven't, I've got like I don't know, it's probably a 12 by 12 covered and sided area for them where the ground is still dirt and they can dig in it and all that kind of crap. Normally we open up the coop and they have a huge yard to mess with, but I haven't let them out because it's,
Yeah.
I mean,
Do
what
you have a heat lamp in there, or no?
no.
I only have heat lamp in 2 of mine, and that's for where the babies are. Because they're fully feathered, but they're still pretty small, especially the silkies. And Lucy is brooding again.
So she's
And
sitting on 12.
No, she's sitting on 8. And if they haven't froze, there should be hatching within the next couple weeks.
Oh, wow.
I mean, she had those 2, which happened to be roosters. And then she automatically went into brooding again.
Huh. Crazy.
Yeah, I didn't get the eggs out in time. Their eggs are about like this big, and she doesn't really lay every day. And then it got cold, so I wasn't taking them out. And yeah, she found them.
Wow.
But yeah, those are the only ones I've had the heat lamps in, was the 2 youngest group.
Yeah. Well, our temperatures got down. It was down to 16, but for the most part, it's been in the super low 20s and that kind of stuff. They seem to be doing okay. But
Oh yeah.
where you guys are at, I can totally understand it.
Yeah, we were minus. I forgot what 15 was the lowest. Minus 15.
Yeah. Damn.
And the other birds did okay. I was just worried about the younger ones.
And Rosie, being a good mama, she just lays in front of the door so the piglets can't get back out. And then they all pig pile on her.
Of course, they're not piglets anymore.
No, they're about 50, 60 pounds now.
But she's
They're
still
growing
acting
fast.
like a good mama, even though her milk's dried up pretty much.
And they're long.
Wow.
They're really long. They're like Arkin, super long pigs.
Well, guys, guess what?
We
2
made it.
minutes.
I
2
know it's been
minutes.
an hour. So anyway, guys, I want to thank you for sharing all your adventures in the last week. And yeah, feel free to talk about, I don't know how much I'll get repaired between now and next week until this freezing stuff stops.
None.
But yeah, so anyway, yeah, we're just making do without killing ourselves or having heart attacks out in the backyard. So anyway, guys, I gotta move us on. So I want to thank everybody who's been watching. I know that we get so many views after the show's over. If there's a better time that you'd like us to run this show and stuff, we can take a look at it. But anyway, we appreciate all the views. I think you guys we only had a few views right after the show last week, but it's been over 100 views now. So it's like, wow, of last week's show. So anyway, thank you so much, guys, for doing that. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'd appreciate it. And we'll see everybody next week. So bye.
Hey, Rob.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna be on next week because my surgery is Wednesday, so
Oh,
I
wow.
don't know if I'll be able to be on.
I'll be on.
So just so you know, you could be on. You never go on without me, so I was just saying, but you're more than welcome to. That I think it'd be good for you. Have a guys' night.
Okay, John, if you're on, she'll be on.
Yeah. Have a guys' night.
We'll just
We might
play it by ear. So
A little sooner, so Rev, isn't exhausted. once it gets summertime, it's not a big deal. But man, I'll bet you once it gets dark around here, Rev is probably dying.
Yeah.
Coming
Yep.
on because we miss them.
Yeah,
we
we do.
'Cause he needs to hang around with us old people.
He's a
Hey
kid.
guys, we got to go. So anyway, we'll talk to y'all later. So thank you very much for watching. This video is made possible by RangerRob Poopy Bags, available in Amazon right now. Thank you very much for watching our video. Please take the time to like, subscribe, and share our videos all over the whole wide world. Thanks.